people on the stage, Shri Krishan Chatterjee from SAP India, Mr. Kapil Chawla from Cisco, Shri Chandra Balani from Amazon, Shri Kamalendu Bali from Concentric. My colleague Mr. Rajiv Talwar, our President Designate, and my colleague on the Managing Committee, Mr. Sumit Dubal, former presidents, diplomats, the media, the government, ladies and gentlemen. With a vision to increase manufacturing output share in GDP to 25% by 2025, Make in India was launched on the 25th of September 2014. 25 sectors have been identified which could help in propelling India's manufacturing industry. The government has also launched various sector-specific policies around export promotion, fiscal and tax incentives, protection against imports, etc. Further, the government is planning, or it's already done it, the new industrial policy, which is now already on the net, which has addressed issues of Industry 4.0, encompassing latest technological developments such as IoT, AI, robotics, etc. In 2016, the Indian government liberalized policies across defense, pharmaceuticals, civil aviation, food trading, broadcasting services, etc. In addition, in the 2017 budget, government totally abolished the concept of FIPP. India's improving credentials as a manufacturing destination received a boost as a report by UNIDO placed India at the 6th position among the world's 10th largest manufacturing destinations. The Nikkei India Purchasing Manager Index reached a 5-year high of 54.7 in December 2017, signaling a recovery in our economy. Going forward, to liberalize FDI regime, along with government efforts in promoting defense manufacturing, electrical vehicles, and renewable energy, are all steps in the right direction. Now coming to the main subject of today, Future Group's Mr. Kishore Biyani spent nearly an hour with the Amazon chairman, Chief Jeff Bezos, at his Seattle headquarters, surprisingly not discussing retail. Instead, the founder of India's largest retail firm spoke of how Alexander's invasion of India had met with fierce resistance, leading the all-conquering Macedonian march to retreat, albeit temporarily. Future Group CEO was trying to draw a parallel here. How Amazon could use an ally that controls nearly a third of the country's food and grocery market. At the same time, 2,000 miles away from Seattle, at Bentonville, its arch-rival Walmart wasn't sitting pretty either. The world's biggest retailer was planning its India counter-offensive. It took over India's e-commerce giant, as we all know, Flipkart, at the deal value of USD 16 billion. In retail, first, consumers went to the product. Now, in the golden age of e-commerce, it is the product that comes to the consumer anywhere, anytime, and technology is making it seamless. According to BCG and Morgan Stanley report, online retail spend in India was around 14 billion in 2016, and they are estimating it to go up to 55 billion by 2021. The retail market in India has been estimated as of now at $770 billion, out of which the organized retail market in India is at 10%, which is one of the lowest in the world in comparison to 80% in the US, UK, Germany, and about 25% in China, Indonesia, and Brazil. India online retail, surprisingly, even now, is just 2.1% of overall retail as of 2016 at USD 14 to 16 billion dollars, in compared to China's e-tailing penetration of 17%. Currently, online shoppers are around 69 million, with a penetration of 17%, which can increase to 215 million in 4 years as per the projections. After China and USA, India's 1.3 billion consumer base, ladies and gentlemen, is becoming the next battleground for everyone from Alibaba to Amazon as they take on local competitions from the likes of Future Group, Mr. Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Retail, so on and so forth. Yet a larger proportion of sales are still offline, and local companies rule the trade in both brick and mortar as well as online space. But most feel it's a matter of time before the inevitable happens. Understanding India is not easy for a retailer. A global retailer needs to adapt to the local style of our country for retailing. Amazon has fired the first salvo. Last year, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, its investment arm bought 5% stake in Shoppers Stop, the country's largest department chain operator. The retailer also entered into a commercial arrangement with Amazon India to sell its product on the latter's marketplace and open experience centers for Amazon at its stores. The biggest advantage of tying up with Amazon is their reach. With more than 400 million consumers go online every month for it, Shoppers Stop's online reach is just about 6 million. Exposing their catalog to Amazon's customers will drive penetration for the former even in smaller cities. Bring in those who don't know Shoppers Stop and make it convenient for customers to compare them with other players. Globally, such alliances have already been transformational. Alibaba and JD.com have been shopping for retailers in line with their comprehensive brick and mortar strategy. The new version of retail, like we have Industry 4.0, we have a Retail 3.0. It's an omni-channel shopping experiment where lines get blurred for an interactive and experiential bonanza. Instead of competing, it's about collaborating. Everyone in India knows the hybrid model will work. Burning loads of cash for market share just won't work for online retailers. That's at the core of Walmart and Flipkart's discussion. The blending of online and offline retail is a real trend. From past experiences in other markets, it can be very complementary. Local showrooms and pickup points, FMCGs, where there are few strong MNCs and a few domestic players. I mean, this I'm talking of the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, because we had Hindustan Lever, we had Colgate. They survived, so did the local industry. According to a report by Ernst & Young and Ace Turtle, web-impacted sales and products in India at present are around 34%, which are much higher than developed markets such as Europe at 10 and US at 6. More and more Indians browse the net first before purchasing branded products. Even in the US, the most mature online market, it's only 9 to 10% of the overall market. So coexistence will be there, and threats were overblown. India's online retailing business is estimated to grow by more than 1,200% to a figure of 13.3 lakh crores by 2026. This is again according to a Morgan Stanley report. And they also estimate online retail to account for 12% of the country's retail market by then, up from the present 2%. On the other hand, India's physical retail market is estimated to top $1.1 trillion by 2020 from the present $770 billion. Omni-channel strategy is no longer where somebody say that it's only in my mini world where with one I will have his or where one will have his or her one store and own website. It is wherever the consumer is engaging with the brand. Offline players such as the Tatas, Reliance Fresh, Godrej Nature's Basket have all launched omni-channel initiatives, although limited in scale. Future Group is adding a technology layer wherein new outlets will be opened with the help from Google, which will identify store locations by mapping consumers' density. Future Group has also tied up with Facebook and chatbots, machine learning and voice recognition startups to drive social engagement with consumers. Brick and mortar stores will now allow orders on Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, or through its voice apps, while analytics will plot consumer behavior pattern and buying patterns to better manage inventory. There was a thinking among brick and mortar as well as online retailers that never the twain shall meet. But for customers, this isn't the case. They want price, convenience, access and range of products. In conventional retail, occupancy is the biggest cost, while for e-commerce, it is the fulfillment cost. A lot of shoppers want to experience shopping. They want the feel of the product. Plus, we have our own loyalties to our local pharmacists, to our local grocery stores, so on and so forth. So with these and with all these measures coming in, ladies and gentlemen, I think we as consumers will all benefit, because the brick and mortar is also getting up to become much more effective and efficient and service oriented towards